Now with the insiders from WisPolitics.com, Republican Scott Jensen and, of course, Democrat Chuck Chvala there. Scott, let's talk about this first with you. After a wild week that was in Wisconsin politics, what, if anything, can we read into the results and the election and the results on Monday and move that forward to this fall? What can we take away from it?
Well, I'm sure that Democrats will find hope in the election of Judge Karofsky in an unusual upset of an incumbent Wisconsin Supreme Court justice. But I think the dynamics are going to be very different this fall than they were today here in the spring. In the spring election, you had a Democratic presidential primary and really no race on the Republican side. You also had some hot races in Milwaukee County for Democrats on the largest county in the state. All of those sort of tilted the field slightly in favor of Karofsky. She capitalized on that, though, by running a good race. So I think Democrats will say, see, we can win Wisconsin back. But I think Republicans can take heart as well. It's going to look very different this fall. The table's not going to be tilted towards the Democrats. And I think, once again, Wisconsin will be in the national spotlight. It will be a race that's decided by 1%, as have been the last three previous statewide races that we've had here. It'll be a very close race. And the voters of Wisconsin clearly seem to be engaged. Turnout was higher in this year's spring elections than last year's.
Scott, Chuck, what we all went through on Tuesday will be unforgettable, of course, and then waiting for the following Monday to get the final results in. What can you read into all of that? What are you taking forward to the fall?
Well, looking back, I think some people might say perhaps Karofsky benefited from the real popularity of Governor Evers, who has been showing in the Marquette poll that he's very popular for his handling of the coronavirus situation. Obviously, Robin Vos took a really bad step for the Republicans toward the end of this process, made national news in a negative way by not postponing the election. But I think more likely what this is a canary in the coal mine for Republicans. This is not a good sign at all for what will be happening in the fall. This is not, you look at those wild counties and how much a closer margin there was here with Joe Karofsky. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be the Republican Party leaders at this night looking back and thinking, what are we going to do for the fall? I think this is a canary in the coal mine, but I think Scott is right. It will be a close election. We'll see what happens in November.
That is why they play the game. Chuck Chvala, Scott Jensen, thank you so much. The insiders there from WisPolitics.com joining us here on Spectrum News 1. You can, of course, get more from them at SpectrumNews1.com and also at WisPolitics.com, too.